All right, well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dogs and cats, all my horror hounds out there. Welcome to Serial Killers, the movie podcast. My name's Glenn Spillman, and always with me is...
Carl O'Leary.
There we go, my friends. Carl O'Leary, a.k.a. Lamont. He's going to be playing Lamont in the series. And, as you guys know, some of the podcasts that I do are interviews with the actors, like the past few. We did one called What is Horror? And that dropped on March 4th. And today is basically just to kind of catch you guys up on what we've been doing with pre-production and some of the things that we've added and just little tidbits like that. It is a beautiful 71 degrees here in the Sacramento area. We are outside of Sacramento in a town called Citrus Heights, and it's a beautiful day today, man. So anyway, to kind of give you some stuff that we've been doing, we've added some more pages to the script. Just like a week, or we'll just say 2 weeks ago, the script was 39 pages, done 39 pages. And I just wasn't happy with it. I was thinking one night, and through conversations with actors and myself, I just like, dude, I need a little bit more meat. This scene needs to be expanded a little bit because I want to give a little bit more backstory of who these people are, because the first film is called The Beginning. And in the beginning, I want you guys to know. I don't want to just brief. So I expanded it, not just by a couple pages. I added another almost 50 pages to the script. And I sent it out to all of the actors. So all of the actors have a copy of that. I added a few new characters. Well, only 2 new characters I added, but I expanded on everybody's. No, I added 3 more characters, but I expanded on everybody's dialogue and a little bit of backstory to give you more information. And not to say too much about it, Carl, but what did you think about the additions to the script?
I thought they were brilliant. I thought they added more depth to the story, and I thought it gave you a little bit more perspective of where we're going, and kind of an introduction into each character. Not to mention, it made everything so much more cohesive.
There you go. That's a good word.
But I thought it was great. I loved it. But also, another thing that we're doing that we just talked about recently, I had an idea. Well, I don't know if I should just say it. Should I say it, or should I just
What, the opening scene?
touch on it? Yeah. Should we touch on it, or just a teeny bit? Give them a little taste?
I would say very, very cryptically, because I don't want them...
Very, very cryptic.
I don't want them to know... Not even... I don't want anyone to know anything, so be very cryptic.
There is a new thing that I mentioned to Glenn that we're planning on introducing, just a little bit extra, that we're going to put into the very first season, first episode. And I think it's going to be fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be informative a little bit.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting. And it's just a little bit. It's just a little bit of a piece. But
I will say this. There's one line of dialogue in there that, even in a horror film, there's one line of dialogue.
Yeah.
It's going to make you laugh. It really is. You know, it's pertinent. When the dialogue is said, I guarantee you, male or female, you're going to be like, oh, I remember that.
I mean, I chuckled pretty hard when we talked about it, and when he said the line, I was like, oh my God. I just started busting up laughing, you know, because it's hard not to do.
Right. And you guys will laugh at that, and it gives a little bit more spice to the film. And so I do have... I'm going to put that scene in there, and then I got one more in the bar scene. So I'm going to add like one more scene there. So all in all, I think... Oh, and then I thought I did it, but then I went through the script, and I talked to one of the actresses about the scene, and I told her what it was going to be like. And then I look at the script. I'm like, shit, I forgot to write the damn scene. It's
Oh.
in my head,
Oh, okay.
but I just didn't write it out. So now I got to put that in there, and it is probably going to be maybe 2 pages, maybe 3 at the most.
Okay.
So with everything that is going to be rewritten, not rewritten, but written in to the script,
Just a little extra.
it's just a little extra. And then I will say this, folks, there is going to be bonus material at the end of episode 1.
Very nice.
That is going to be first bonus material is going to be something. It's going to tease you a little bit. And the second bonus material is going to be something very heartfelt, very personal, and it's going to drive a stake right through your heart in a good way. And
Interesting.
And so I would suggest that that you guys take a peek at that when it comes out. And I want to touch a little bit on the crowdfunding. I'm a little disappointed because I use Indiegogo because I've used it before and have had success. And I've even posted on this on the group page. There's a lot, as you well know, there's a lot of scams going around.
Right.
And these scammers are getting smarter. Well, I've been in the first 3 days, we had over $7,000 in donations. But then it went away, and then I started researching. Now it looks like an email comes from Indiegogo. But if you look at the email within the body of that, it's always a Gmail account. Sometimes it's an odd name, sometimes whatever. But these people are trying to pose as, hey, I want to donate to your campaign. Can you send me a direct link? And I'm like, if you want to donate to the campaign, you want a direct link, then how'd you know about the campaign?
Yeah.
And then there's like, oh, we are XYZ company, and if you pay us this much money, we'll get you so much exposure.
Oh, geez.
So
Red flag.
all that money went away. All the accounts were deactivated by Indiegogo because these people that made the donations that showed up was actually used with either a stolen credit card or a skimmed credit card. So when the credit card company saw that, they got a hold of Indiegogo, and the rest is history. So I started another one on a safer platform called GoFundMe. GoFundMe is used for anything that you want to raise money for. Indiegogo is basically directed towards filmmakers, entrepreneurs, and people that make like little gadgets and stuff. So I implore you guys, now I know you guys have been doing this, I implore you to keep sharing the Indiegogo on your Facebook pages and to your friends, because right now we do have one pledge on GoFundMe, and that's where it starts, folks. It starts with one person.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you guys could donate $1 or as much as you want, every little bit helps. Because I want to make sure that all the actors get paid. I want to make sure that the sound person, the DP, whomever's on set, I want to make sure everybody gets paid something. You know, that's the whole reason. I'm not raising money so I could buy a new watch. I'm raising money so we can get this film done, because I don't want these people working for free. I want to pay everybody.
That's a nice thought.
You know? So if you guys could keep sharing, that would be awesome. Also, share the Facebook page. And I know you guys have been doing that because we've grown. I mean, we're now, this morning I looked at, we're at like 520 or 522 members. And not even a month ago, or maybe a little over a month ago, we only had one, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that was me, you know? But you guys have been sharing it. It's been great.
You got to start somewhere.
Exactly. A seed. You water it and it grows, and you guys have been helping with that. So keep doing that. I appreciate that. And as you guys know, the shooting date was supposed to be October 1st. And because that's when a lot of this stuff was going on, was around October. But I got to thinking, you know, as soon as I find a DP, so those of you listening, if you know of a DP, have them get a hold of me, because I already have a sound person. It's all I need now is a DP, because anyone could, I can get to slate and whatnot, and we'll just kind of skeleton crew it. But I was talking to Carl, and I was like, dude, all the inside shots, nobody knows what time of year it is.
Mm-hmm.
So we could, like, a lot of the opening scene happens inside. Some of the, a scene with Raven and Morgan happens inside. Pretty much.
You could just have Halloween decorations if you want it to be Halloween.
True, I could.
On the inside, if that's what you want.
And Carl, every single bit of Carl's scenes, which is Lamont, is inside. None of it's outside.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of Morgan and Raven's scene is inside. Mm-hmm. The bar scene inside.
Right.
So we could, in essence, before October starts, we can have at least half, if not more, of this film shot.
Yeah.
So that's my goal. And I know that there's 3 of the actors live in Stockton. 2 of the actors lives in Nevada, Reno area. 1 of the actresses lives in Canada, and 1 of the actors lives in Los Angeles. The rest of them are here in the immediate Sacramento area, or Placerville, or something like that. So, and we also want to do a meet and greet. And let's just, I was like, where can we meet? And I was like, duh, we've got Jan's Lounge as going to let us film there, so why don't we just meet there at the bar? Yeah. So all of you guys that, and I know I've done a post on this about let's meet at Jan's, and it'll be on a weekend, either Saturday or Sunday, because that's when most of the people are off. So we can meet at the bar, talk about the script and the series and the episode, especially the episode. And so there's a little update on that. This is a more of an informative, because I want to keep you guys, I know you guys read the posts and whatnot, but I'm the kind of person, I like to, every little step that I take, I want you guys to know about it. Mm-hmm. And so, and again, if you guys have any questions whatsoever, you could you guys all have my phone number. If you have my email, and when I email you back, my phone number's right, and even on the group page, my phone number's on there. Text me, let me know who you are, and say, hey, give me a call, or can I call you? Because I usually don't answer phone calls that I don't know the number. But if you text me first, I will get your, oh, okay, yeah, give me a call. And a lot of you guys. And also, this film series has kind of exploded on social media. And I have, in the past few days, I've had actors from New York, New Jersey, several in Los Angeles get a hold of me and say, hey, I heard about your film series. How can I audition for you if you have any roles for me? And I ask every single one of them, do you know that it's a horror film? Because it's a very important reason why I ask that. Because a lot of actors out there are so paranoid about tarnishing their, quote, image that they don't want to do horror, because horror has a lot of negative connotations to it, no matter what it is. Ours definitely does, because we touch on subject matters.
Well, it's a horror film, so of course it's going to have
exactly.
That's just the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's a horror film that doesn't, unless it's like Disney. Even Disney's going graphic now.
Right, exactly. And there's one scene, I cast the, I'm trying to cast for a congressman. But the congressman, I will say, is into some freaky stuff. He hires a individual that will perform these. I won't tell you what kind or whom. Performs these freaky acts, but none of them are on camera. It's all insinuated through dialogue and whatnot. So you don't see anything. But I've had a half a dozen actors turn it down because it was too intense for them. And then, of course, the second scene that they are in, that's where the main intensity happens. But one guy's like, well, if you need a truck driver or a good old boy or whatever, I'm your Huckleberry. He looks like that. What I sound like, he looks just like what you think he does.
That.
And I appreciate that. And again, horror is not for everybody. And this actress from LA that I've been talking to this last night and this morning, she's like, yeah, I do. I don't mind horror and gore, but... And I'm like, well, we do touch on some subject matters. And I kind of give her a little information. And I'm like, we don't glorify it. We punish it. But she was more like, well, I don't want to be like, because I said, what do you feel about gore? And she was like, well, I don't want, like, am I going to be punched or am I going to be this and that? I'm like, no, nothing's going to happen to you. You're going to be the aggressor. And so, oh, okay, all right, I can, but some people, no, not some, a lot of people that I've talked to, actors that, and I talk about this almost in every podcast, that once they find out it's horror, because for some reason, like on some casting platforms, they don't tell you it's horror. They just say the name of the movie where it's located at. Oh. And when I ask them if they like horror, they're like, well, it depends. Well, when I hear that, I know automatically they're out. Not because I want them out, because I know that they're going to not want to be in it once I kind of give them some information. And for those of you that don't know about it, this is a very intense film series. We do, in fact, 100% talk about sensitive information, but it's all the shit that's gone on in the world or is going on in the world, and it may have gone on with you. So I do not apologize for what we are doing at all. And if you can't hack it, that's fine. That's fine. Then go be in a Disney film to make yourself happy. And I'm not putting you down by any means of the imagination, because, again, horror is not for everybody. But that's why initially I asked these questions, because throughout asking these questions, I weed out a lot of people. And I've had over 300 people just on all casting alone ask about the film series. 300. I stopped counting at 300. And then there's backstage, there's SAT casting, there's several platforms that it's on. But we are up to now 33 characters in the first episode. Now, again, some characters may be on film for 30 seconds. Some of them are for 3, 4, 5, 20 minutes throughout the whole film. It depends on what role it is. But every single one of them is pertinent to the story. And that's why I expanded the script, because I'm like, well, that person was there that day, so I should probably, put that in there, because it introduces all these people. And there's a point to that. So, and also, too, I'm still looking for locations. And I did get I'm looking for a house, and one of the actors, I won't say who they are because I don't want to put them out there, but they offered their home to shoot the opening scene in. But I still need 2 other, whether it's an apartment or whether it is a house, 4 other scenes, because Morgan's got her own place, Lamont and Raven live in their own place, so I do need that. I do need a barn or a warehouse, some sort of thing like that around the Sacramento area. So if any of you guys know any of that, let me know. And also, too, with the serial killer series, there's 8 episodes in the first season. Carl and I are already on episode 3 of season 2. Now, with each episode, we're going to tease a little bit more. At the end of the film, we're going to have a little teaser in there. But in each episode in season 1 will follow up the previous episode. So we'll take from that episode and it'll just follow on. So it's just one long big story. But for the second episode, we're going to have obviously new characters developed in there. It's going to fall into more of the Halloween realm. Then the next 2 episodes are going to be focused mainly around Halloween like a day or two before, the day of, and a day or two after. So it's all going to be focused around Halloween. And so that's that aspect of things. And we have a character that we were talking about that is in the last, no, is episode 7. The name starts with a D. You know who that is?
Yeah.
And so that is where we're going to tease a little bit about what's coming in season 2. And it's very interesting, to say the least. So once I do start filming for the episode 1, we are going to simultaneously, while we're doing that, set up and go pre-production for episode 2. We're going to start casting for that. So those of you that did not get into episode 1 for whatever reason, there's a chance for you to be in episode 2. Now, some people that are talking to me now, obviously it's a little late because I've cast like everybody but, the congressman. So we can, but there, sometimes it's some people's fault because they go, hey, I'll get you an audition, but, I'm busy right now, so I might get it to you within a week or two. And that's fine. I'm not going to tell you how to do your audition. But I've told everybody, sooner the better, because if I find somebody that I like, I'm going to cast them. Yeah. And I do feel bad because there's one gentleman, I was like, man, I haven't heard from this person. And lo and behold, they texted me yesterday or the day before, and they're like, oh, I'm sorry that I haven't gotten back to you, and they told me what was up. They had some surgery done. And I was like, man, dude, I'm sorry to hear that. They sent me an email with a video of them laying in their hospital bed, apologizing. And I'm like, dude, no need to apologize, brother. I mean, I'm sorry that you're going through this. Yeah. You concentrate on getting better, and we'll talk about, another episode, and I really feel honored that they would go that far to apologize. They didn't have to do that. Yeah. I thought that was really cool. I mean, not that they had surgery, but I thought it was really cool that they reached out because, a lot of times people find out the horror aspect, they just quit talking to me. They quit emailing, and that's, guys, I mean, that part is unprofessional. If you don't want to do it, just tell me, hey, horror's not my thing. I don't want to be labeled as this. Tell me that. I'll respect that. But I don't respect if you just quit talking to me, because if you talk to me on another episode, I'm going to be like, well, remember that time we talked and you just ghosted me? No thanks. Yeah, because how do I know that you're not going to ghost me on set?
Yeah, it's not very professional.
So, Carl, why don't you kind of explain maybe another episode or two that's coming up, but explain it cryptically about what they can expect, the best way that you can.
Without giving away anything.
Yeah.
Well, there's going to be some new introductions of characters, ones you don't know about yet, that will be introduced in the next season. And it's going to be a different take on what we've already touched base on. And it's going to show you kind of the trajectory we're going.
Right.
And I don't want to give away too much, but basically we have a theme already developed, and I don't want anyone to know the theme. I want it to be a surprise. I want it to unravel as we go along. But there is a theme that's developing within the Serial Killer series that we're exploring, and we're constantly bringing to light all these different characters who are going to play a part in it, and what that means to that world.
Right.
I'm trying to be as cryptic as I can without giving away anything.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah. There's a lot of new ideas in play that we're playing around with, and new There's a lot of new stuff going on that we're working on, and I don't want to give away any ideas, so I'm trying to be as cryptic as possible.
Right.
But just know that this is going to be extraordinary. It's probably unique from what I
Oh yeah,
understand.
for sure, unique, absolutely.
And we're constantly building more and more to it. We're bringing something completely different than I've seen or heard about.
Yeah.
So be looking out for these new characters, and they're going to constantly be developing. We're constantly adding more characters into the series because we have to in order to tell the story of these new characters coming in and what the theme is and all that to get to that finish line.
Right.
We got way ahead where we're going. We already know
yeah.
where we're going.
Yeah,
and we have the path basically, so we just need to know where to connect the path.
Right.
And like how to tie it all in together.
Right. And I also want to let you guys know, and I've said this to some actors, well, pretty much most of the actors that I've talked to, that I give their backstory to. Now, when I talk to them, I give them the basic backstory of their character. I don't give them the full backstory, because if I do, I personally think, I'm not saying that they will, but I personally think, as an actor myself, you'll overthink it. If I give you too much information, you're going to overcompensate in your acting process that you don't need to do. So I give you just enough information for you to be that character the way I want you to be in that episode.
That makes sense. Just enough information to let your own imagination create the rest of it.
Right. So when episode 2 comes along and you are a continual character in episode 2, then I'll give you more information about, okay, in this episode you do X, Y, and Z, and then let me tell you why you do it. And this is what the real person did. So then now you can add another brick, another layer to your character when I give you that information.
Interesting. It's like building blocks to building the character.
Exactly. And I don't want to, I'm spoon feeding everybody, the audience, the actors, everybody. Carl's the only one that knows pretty much.
Well, the other writer too, though.
Yeah, and he's the other writer,
It's
so
hard not to know.
He has to know
the
fullness of, and then even when he knows the fullness of even Lamont, I still give him a little bit. Oh, hey, he might ask me a question. I'm like, oh, well, this is what, because he asked me like a wardrobe question. He goes, well, how do you want Lamont to dress? I'm like, well, this is how the real Lamont dressed. And I'm not telling you to dress like that. I'm just saying, here's an idea. Put your spin on it.
Right.
And go with that. Like Raven, for instance, she's 100% goth. So, still is. And the way, even when she's going out to the grocery store, she might be goth. She has goth levels. And she'd be like, well, I'm going DEFCON 2 today. And I know exactly what that is because I dated her. I know what DEFCON 2 is. But when it gets to DEFCON 5, well, that's a whole new other experience. That's kind of like, there's this place here in Sacramento, and I just got
I have a question, though. Are we going to learn about the DEFCONs?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Yes, we are.
Okay.
There's a club here. It's called Marlowe's, and there's a group called Necromancy, and they're having a goth-themed party later on this month, and that would be the DEFCON 5 kind of Raven, if you will.
Okay.
I mean, it would look like she's stepping straight out of the underworld,
Oh, okay.
I mean, it is just...
To the gates of hell.
Yeah, but she, even if she's at DEFCON 1 and she's out in public, oh, you'll know she's goth. 100%.
Right.
She's got levels. It's kind of like, us as, just individuals like you've got a certain way. Like if you went to this place, you'll dress this way, or if you have this feeling, you'll dress this way.
Oh yeah.
So, and it is certain characters, I will have certain ways.
It's like certain levels of comfort. Like when you're at home, for me,
just
dress in sweatpants. You don't care. You wear just boxer shorts and a t-shirt. But when you go out in public, you don't dress that way.
Right.
You dress more presentable. And then when you go to work, you dress more formal.
Right.
So it just depends on where you're going.
But the thing about, I'll just keep using Raven as an example. The thing about Raven, she's goth 24/7. Now, like I said, she might be lounging around in a sweatshirt that's 3 times her size, but it's a goth sweatshirt.
Mm-hmm.
It's dark, and sometimes she will still have certain makeup on, or she'll
a t-shirt, but it'll be goth related.
right, and
Yeah.
she'll be, maybe if she's doing, practicing on different makeup style, whatever or it's her vernacular. When we were talking, we always go off into certain subject matters, or there were times where we sat there with all candles and we're doing some I'll just say spiritual stuff. There was always a goth meter with Ray, and there still is. Like I said, she's still around. There still is, and even when I talk to her or see her nowadays, it's the same thing. It just doesn't change, because that's.
So when you guys were doing that, you were doing like a darker version of soul searching.
You could say that, yeah. And there's and like, but there's certain other characters that live a double life, that you see them here and you're like, oh, they're this, but when you see them in a different scene, you're like, holy shit. I didn't know that. I didn't know they would. But see, those are the things that little tidbits, that this thing is built off of true events. So, we're going to spoon feed you guys, because like Carl said 100 times, if we said everything at once, you guys will be like, well, why do we need to watch the rest?
Yeah.
We know everything already.
Yeah, you got to leave some mystery in there. It's just boring.
Yeah.
I've heard it plenty of times from other people. Like, I already know everything. Why do I need to watch this series?
Right.
And they just killed their series because they just give away everything.
Right. And we're not going to shy away from anything. But again, and he agrees with me when I say this part. Sometimes in horror, less is more.
Yeah.
It's like, you don't need to show someone's head getting sawed off. You could just it's not a horror movie, but in the movie The Expendables, when Sylvester Stallone does a job and he comes back and he's walking up to the Bruce Willis's character and Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he has a bag over his shoulder. We don't know what the bag is, but when the lines are delivered, well, what's your proof? Show us your proof. He holds the bag up and there's like blood dripping out of the bottom, and he drops the bag, and Bruce Willis's character was basically like, well, there's the proof. He goes, a little extreme, but in your mind, well, that's a severed head in the bag. Mm-hmm. They don't show the head. Mm-hmm. You just think, oh, that's got to be a head.
Right.
That's what I mean by less is more. But then there's going to be other parts of the film series or film episode that will be extreme, but it's there for a reason. And there's a reason for everything, like I said, and I repeat myself, because sometimes there's people that are new to the podcast or new to the series, and it's like the actress this morning. She goes, well, tell me about it. And I'm like, well, instead of me telling you, why don't you go listen to the first podcast? Mm-hmm. And if you're still interested after that, then we'll talk more. And then I've had 2 people in the past 2 days go, I listened to the podcast. It's not for me. I respect that to a point. But
right.
Anyway, but that's your little, this is kind of a brief little catch-up session on what's going on with the in this the Facebook page is just for the movie. It's not a horror page or anything like that. It's just for the movie, the film series. So if you want to be a part of that, just on Facebook, go to Serial Killers Movie on Facebook, join the group, and I'm on there every day. Mm-hmm. And I'm posting, and I'm giving you updates. But these podcasts, like I said, I'm either interviewing the actors, or we're talking about certain things, mm-hmm. And then this is more of an informative, hey, this is where we're going, this is what I've done, mm-hmm. this is what's going to happen next. And so you guys are constantly in the loop. There's not going to be any, hey, what's going on with serial killers? You guys will always know. Yeah. Is there any other thing that you want to say, or even cryptically, or anything like that before we sign off?
I think we pretty much covered it. I don't know what else there is to divulge. But,
Yeah. And we're cryptic for a reason.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You know?
If we gave it away, then you wouldn't have any mystery.
Yeah, and we are 100% about mystery. So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think we're good. I think we've
All right.
wrapped it up.
All right, well, perfect. Well, thanks everyone for listening to our episode. And like I said, keep an eye out on the Facebook page, because go there now, because my daughter did something last night that I thought was pretty interesting. That's on the Facebook group page. That's all I'll say about that. And I think you'll enjoy it. But anyway, signing off, this is Glenn Spillman.
Carl O'Leary.
Peace out, folks.
See you guys.